Hey, this is Joe Price. I just wanted to provide some instructions on doing a community project for a specific county. I'm going to show you two tools that work really well in the United States. And I'd probably start maybe with the Google Sheet first, so you can get 1910 done. And then I'll show you how to use Goldie May to get some of the other census years. So let me share my screen. Okay, so here on the left, I have my Google Sheet set up, and I'm going to be doing this in the context of Sauk County in Wisconsin. So I would just put in my name here, and I tend to check out a few at a time. I just click on the link, and it'll drop me right into SourceLinker, and I'll have to sign in. So once I sign in this case, it's done already. So that's fine. We'll be cleaning up these sheets, and I'll be doing that before this project. So I would just mark that as complete. One trick I like to do is maybe highlight a few of the URLs and hit Alt-Enter at the same time. Oops, let me try that again. Let's do this and hit Alt-Enter. The first time you do it, there'll be a little pop-up blocker you'll have to fix. So you can see here, I can come and look at the details, and you can see this looks like a pretty good match. We have an exact match on the county, and other names are matching up. So basically, this was a birth record on the tree, and now we're actually helping bring more information about this family, including the birth info for the parents and then a sibling. So I have Goldie May turned on over here. There's other videos about how to set up Goldie May, but actually let me just show you really quick, because it's not, Goldie May is such a great tool that let me just show you really quick how to do it. So if you come to Goldie May, you'll hit install Goldie May for free. Right here, I already have it, so you'll hit add to Chrome, and then there might be a little message you have to do, like add extension. And that's all it does to get it downloaded. And then to access your extensions, you just hit the puzzle piece and you hit Goldie May. And notice I open it up over here. And then here's probably the most important part is you're going to hit the 3 bars and hit volunteering. That will activate this tool that allows you to help grow the family tree. So notice over here, I have my hint, and over here, I have Goldie May. And so I'm just going to click this, and I'm going to click that once I've decided that it's a match. Okay, and so notice there that it just clicked everything. Now, at this point, I don't want to hit next, because that will just pull up the next hint from Goldie May. What I want to do is just go to the next tab. And so notice here that I can look in here. And again, this is really nice because I have an exact city match and a name match. And this looks like I could potentially add a lot of people to the tree, because Fernanda's on the tree with her husband, but in the census, she's with her father and all of her siblings. So let's do this. Now, this is very common, is that when it goes to find this, one thing we might want to do is just take a look at this person. You can see that's Fred with a daughter named Edith. If we look back at SourceLinker, we're trying to see maybe if we have an Edith, there's an Edith and an Ed. That's about all we know about Fred. Notice Fred doesn't have any birth info or other things. Let's see what we know about this one. So at this point, maybe what I might do is just, like if I was an advanced user, I might spend some time kind of cleaning up this family, merging some of these duplicates and other things. So in this case, I'm just actually going to just skip it. And anytime you skip a family in our sheets, it does have that opportunity to go to someone who can do it in more. Notice this is a pretty good match right here. We hit, so it'll attach the person and then add the other person. And then finally we get to this last person. And again, this is another interesting case where we have a marriage on the right and then a whole family on the left. And notice this time it didn't pull up any possible matches. If it had, it would have paused for a second. But now for the wife, it does. Let's take a look at her really quick. And notice in that case, I just right click on the name and hit open in a new tab just so I can kind of look at this. So we got Rose and Lydia over here. And we have a Lydia, 1894. Over here, we have a Lydia, 1890. So again, this might be another one where I'd want to spend some time doing this, fixing some of these things. I don't have a Rose over here. So like at worst, what I would be doing is creating, a duplicate for Dora and Lydia. But yeah, so again, I could skip this one. I could also just not use Goldie May. And so there, yeah, so at this point, this is kind of a judgment call, but I mean, it's really a decision about whether, yeah, so if we skip this one, someone else can come to it. But again, this would be one, if you had a little bit of time, you might want to go and try to piece this family. I might do that afterwards. And so then I just put in ones. That just means that I checked it, and I can put in little notes about this and some notes about those two families. Okay, so that's how we use the Google Sheet. We'll also be setting up a Google Sheet with some really easy hints. So these hints are probably for like more like normal users who have some experience with SourceLinker or have someone sitting near them that can help them out. We'll give you some other hints that are going to be always right. Now let me show you that I can actually just use Goldie May directly as well. So if I come here, I can type in a place. So remember we were doing Sauk County, so I can click that. Notice there's 6,000 hints here for Sauk County. I click on that and I hit start. Sometimes I just have to make sure that I don't have like other windows open. So sometimes it just helps to close my other browsers because sometimes it'll open up somewhere else. Okay, so great. So then Goldie May reached into its database and it found me a hint for someone living in Sauk County. You can see this is a really good hint. Everything seems to be matching up really well. And so then I just hit attach records. Now, since I'm doing it now in Goldie May, then I can just hit next. And what it'll do is just pull up the next one. And it'll tend to do kind of a cluster of families. So notice that family, they just did. So we're basically starting in 1940 and working our way back. So here's 1920. So notice that we're actually now attaching all the census records to this family, moving back. Other cool things is it'll tell you up here how many you've done. It'll tell you if you're related. So here, Erwin Simmons is my 7th cousin 3 times removed. And so, if you find a close relative, you can go in and learn more and connect, maybe flesh it out a little bit more. But yeah, and so that's kind of how to use Goldie May. So notice in one case, we were accessing the hints from the Google Sheet, but using Goldie May to help us complete them. In the other, we are doing it with Goldie May. Just as a last thing, let me just show you how to access all these things. This is the URL bit.ly/RLL volunteer. And if you come in here, this is that state sheet. So if you click on this, you can actually see all the states. So wherever it is you want to do your project, you can pick the state where it's done. You can see a lot of these are completed, but in this case, we went to Wisconsin. And then once we open the Wisconsin sheet, we get to see some stats. And then we come here to hints, and then you can just sort it by county. And then once you sort it by county, you can just come down and find the county that you're planning to work on. So there's Sauk County that I was working on. And again, in the Google Sheet, we just put in our name to kind of check it out. And then with Goldie May, you can just access the hints directly by typing something into the place. Okay, so we're excited for you to be able to use some of these tools to do your own community project. It's really neat to be able to make sure that everyone living in a certain place in the census is on the family tree. And in fact, attaching people at every census during their lifetime is the most important way to reduce duplication on the tree and create as much connections as possible on the tree. Because every time we attach a census, we have the ability to find additional family members that we can add to the